today's episode of Happily Never After. Today we're taking a look at a century-old case of murder, betrayal, and intrigue. For those of you who don't know, our beloved King William has perished of a broken heart after the death of his ward.
Aww.
I know, tragic. But before he died, the king commanded a full investigation of her death. And we're here to bring together all the clues the police uncovered and figure out who caused her
Happily never after.
That's right. Before we get into the events that led to her death, let's get to know our victim.
Aurora Dormiendo Beauty. She was pretty and nice, and that's pretty much it. Oh, she also liked to spin on a wheel. I know, weird.
She was so young. Anywho, let's figure out how she died. Apparently, Aurora had a weird story even before she died. Let's take a look at some party footage found from her 16th birthday, 100 years ago.
Happy 16th birthday, my dear Aurora.
Oh, thank you, newfound mom. Also, where are the presents?
Oh, give us 1 second. Servant, can you come here? Here, Mr. Whoa.
I think I saw a piece of hair on Princess Aurora's plate.
I don't think.
Why don't you take it back to the kitchen and
Servants.
fix it?
Yes, Maleficent. Servants, come here. Where's the cake?
Don't
Here's
know why,
your
you know.
cake, made especially for you, Princess Aurora. Here's your fork, my darling.
How lovely.
Enjoy.
There's liquid on it, but that seems fine.
That's okay. Do you need to get some air, my darling?
Yes, I think I do.
Okay, go ahead.
When Aurora was discovered later that night, she was immediately rushed to the royal physician, who determined that she was under a sleeping spell cast by the most powerful sorcerer in the land. Here with us tonight, let's welcome Maleficent.
Woo! Make sure the fabric shipment is in packs so we can assemble for the Long Fashion Week.
Hello?
Oh, sorry, yes, I need to go. I'm on television.
It's so wonderful to have you here. I know you just recently returned to the States because of a statute of limitations.
Oh, yes. They've been trying to pin Sleeping Beauty's long nap on me for years. What feels like 100 years. But now that someone went and killed her, I'm a free woman in 5 continents.
5? There are 7.
Your point is?
Never mind. So can you tell us a little bit about Aurora's birthday party and who you think poisoned her and who you think killed her?
You ask a lot of questions. But since they can't charge me anymore, I guess I'll fill you in. Aurora was a dim-witted nuisance who didn't deserve any of the stuff that she got. The girl spun on a wheel, for goodness sake.
So you put her to sleep because she was annoying.
As you Americans say, duh.
So you think someone killed her because she was annoying?
No, Aurora was much more bearable when she was asleep. If someone killed her, it was because King William would have named her his heir as soon as she woke up.
Why would he name her as his heir, and how did he know she would wake up?
Well, the king made Sleeping Beauty his heir because he felt sorry for her. He hired some idiotic amateur sorcerer to try and undo my spell. As if a beginner could undo my spell. It was set to wear off after a century. That sorcerer was just in the right place at the right time. It's a pity she died before she woke up.
So a princess set to inherit a kingdom when she woke up died before she could do so. Interesting.
If you're looking for a suspect, I might be able to help. A few weeks ago, a mysterious fellow came into one of my old lairs that I'm renovating, asking for a magical, traceless poison. I gave him cocaine because his voice irritated me. But before he left, I noticed he put his fingerprints all over one of my magnifying mirrors. Here, I brought it in to show the police that I did well, mostly.
Well, this could be the evidence that we need to catch our culprit. We can have our next guest help analyze it. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Felicity Forgery.
Woo! All right. Thank you for having me on the show.
Of course, we're excited to get into the nitty-gritty of this case. Our first guest, Maleficent, actually brought a piece of evidence that she hopes will be helpful.
Where did you get this?
A client of mine put his hands on it. I figured it may have had something to do with the case when the authorities released Aurora died of a liquid cocaine injection, which may or may not have been what my customer bought. Oh, excuse me, I need to take this.
There are some fingerprints found at the crime scene where Aurora's body was found, but we need a way to compare them.
Well, lucky for you, the studio assembled a real-life forensics lab for you to analyze any piece of evidence. Let's go check it out.
Welcome to the Mobile Forensics Lab. How may I help you?
We already tested Aurora's hair and determined the cause of death was cocaine overdose. Next, we need to run the prints through AVIS to determine the fingerprints of Maleficent's customer match the fingerprints found in the tower.
Sure thing. I'll use carbon lift the prints.
Can you go into further detail about how you're going to make sure the fingerprints match?
Of course. So first, I dust the mirror to find a full print, and then I use lifting tape to put the print on an ID card like this.
As you can see, the fingerprint is a whirl and has identical minutiae to the fingerprints found at the tower where the crime scene was that we already put in the system.
Shocking.
When we compare the prints to those of the crime scene, they are an exact match.
Wait, when we put the first prints in AVIS, were there any matches?
No, which means whoever committed the crime is the first offender.
There's something else. Some of my researchers who are still analyzing the crime scene just told me that they found the injection needle on the floor of Aurora's tower.
So you can find the injection needle on any street corner.
But this needle is made of tungsten. The researchers figured that out because of its unusual density and extremely high melting point of approximately 3,000 degrees Celsius.
What? That is extremely rare metal. Only those who have money can have access to that. Because they're filthy rich.
No. Milan Fashion Week must be perfect. Now handle this before I have to turn you into a gargoyle.
Excuse me, you're still on television.
Sorry. These Americans are idiots. Now, where did the doctor go with my mirror? I'd really like to clean it before the print set in.
The doctor and assistant found that the fingerprints matched exactly. Not to mention, we have the autopsy report performed by the medical examiner stating that there were signs of kidney failure, heart failure, and deteriorating veins, proving she died of cocaine overdose. Now, what did this mysterious man look like?
Okay, now usually I don't like to reveal my sources, but if it gets this nuisance behind bars, I'll tell you anything. Unfortunately, the only thing I remember about him besides his unusual accent was the fact that he was wearing a signet ring on his finger.
So you're saying he's another royal?
Well, of course, the signet rings only belong to the royals that reign over the Black Forest. Oh, and my son as well.
Well, I have the answers to this. It all makes sense now. Aurora was made to be air when she wakes up, and the ring confirms it was a royal since the Maleficent's prints did not match those of the crime scene.
Of course I didn't kill her. I would have just put her back to sleep.
Due to the mysterious man, we can rule out the queen and the fairy godmother and most of the staff. So who does that leave?
A man!
Even more specific, Prince Philip.
Oh, well, the man was wearing a red cloak like my son usually does. But his face was not the same.
Wow, great memory. We actually haven't had a secret interview with Prince Philip, as he is now in line for the throne. And of course, this wouldn't be happily never after without some menace.
The royal guards are ordered to inspect Prince Philip's room after a suspicious interview with our assistant host. They found the suspicious vial in one of his drawers.
The liquid seems to not normally be a liquid due to the small clumps at 75 degrees.
We can compare a sample from the cocaine that was in the hair to the chemical structure of this. Do we know what chemical Prince Philip was given?
Well, of course, if you were watching the television, you would have heard me say cocaine. It's one of my best sellers these days, and before anyone asks, yes, it is legal, and yes, I am rich.
We know Aurora's mechanism of death was a heart attack caused by injection, which could only be cocaine or mercury with the amount injected.
Wow, our analysis came back, and the liquid that was found in the bottle matches the hair sample analysis.
Well, that was obvious.
So what was the motive?
We can conclude that Prince Philip wanted to kill Sleeping Beauty because he was next in line to inherit the throne after she died, not to mention the fact that he would want to kill Aurora to please his sweet old mother.
I am not old.
Stay tuned next week for the rest of the story on
Happily Never After!
1 week later.
Welcome back, everybody, to today's episode of Happily Never After. In this episode, we will be continuing the investigation of a century-old murder. And this time we have a new guest. Everyone, give a round of applause to Prince Philip.
Boo! Boo!
Tough crowd.
So what made you kill Aurora?
Oh, okay. Well, first off, like my mom always says, I never reveal my secrets. However, for you, darling, I will tell you, okay? I always wanted to rule the kingdom once this old bat just kicked the bucket.
I am not old!
Yeah.
So how did you get past your mother?
Okay, this is crazy, okay? You're gonna love this, you're gonna love this. I did shape-shifting, and my mother, she couldn't even recognize me. Boom.
Wow, what an innovative killer. Just my type.
Well, son, thank you for getting rid of that nuisance. But you know, you could have just asked me for another sleep spell. And you should have known that I don't share power.
Arrest him!
Aha! You never catch me!
Don't worry, my prince. I'll get you out of this.
Hey, where's my lawyer? Where's my lawyer? Are you recording this? Are you recording this?
How could you ever kill our princess?
That was annoying. Plus, she's something bad. I'm sorry.
So that's the story. A princess is poisoned by the old witch Maleficent on her 16th birthday and falls under a powerful sleeping spell. And just when she was set to inherit the kingdom, when she finally woke up after sleeping in her tower for 100 years, she was poisoned again and died from cocaine overdose. The evidence to confirm this was a syringe left at the crime scene, the trace amounts of cocaine found in Aurora's hair, the vial of leftover poison found in the prince's room, the matching fingerprints found on Maleficent's mirror and the crime scene, and finally the results from the autopsy performed on Aurora's body. These all revealed that it was in fact Maleficent's son, the prince who was next in line to inherit the kingdom after Aurora, who murdered Sleeping Beauty. Fine.
That's okay.
Delicious.
Yummy. Do you need some fresh?
You guys look so great.
Okay. I know, tragic. But he died. But
Oh my god.
how did you get past your mother?
Well, okay. So I use this like shape-shifting thing, you know, so that my mother would not memorize me.
Wow, an innovative. Interest. For being me so wonderful.
I'm sorry, move my head.
Okay, let's start.
Well, oh wait, is Sophia filming?
Yeah.
Oh,
Take a pause.
Sorry, yes, I need to go. I'm on television.
It's so wonderful to have you here. Phew. So you think someone killed her because she was annoying?
Oh my gosh, I totally blanked out there.
Why would he name her his heir? And why? What's up to?